I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're uncovering the mysteries of a terrific book. It is called Gypsy Tarot Spread. It's written by a wonderful author. Her name is Linda Drummond. This comprehensive guide teaches readers how to use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck to gain detailed insights into their past, present, and future. Join us as we explore her Synergy Tarot method and discover how it can transform your understanding of relationships. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Linda, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Hi, Logan. It's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Great to have you on the show. This is a fascinating topic. I remember my first impression of tarot cards was from Live and Let Die, when Roger Moore as James Bond was finding all about the past, future, and present from those cards. How did you get into reading tarot cards?
Well, I had a really abusive childhood, and I think I had to sense anything that was going on in my house all the time. It was like walking on eggshells. So I learned at a very early age to walk around and just sense what people were doing. So it came naturally. When somebody handed me a set of tarot cards, I immediately picked them up and thought, I can do this. I can sense what other people are doing. But the reading that I was using was a Celtic Cross reading. It's a very small reading, and it wasn't very satisfying. I couldn't see in the cards what my intuition was telling me, and I needed to see that. So when I discovered the Gypsy Tarot Spread, which is a huge reading, 42 cards at a time, I started to study that. It's a powerful reading where their whole stories emerge, complete with plots, heroes, and villains. So that's how I got started, and I essentially detached myself from everything, all the people in my life, and started all over again. I didn't know how to mother. I didn't know how to be a wife. I didn't learn these things growing up. So, my tarot cards have guided me a lot. I also I'm detail oriented. So I recorded and I took notes on every reading that I've ever done for myself in order to get myself figured out.
Very, very cool. Do you feel in order to read tarot cards, you need a special clairvoyance, or is that something you can develop from working with the cards and learning your method?
Well, that remains to be seen. If a person wants to do it, they're going to be inclined to do it. If you've ever had a feeling that your kid wasn't well, you're clairvoyant anyway.
Yeah.
So
So it's that intuition, it's that inside feeling, it's that inner voice that you actually sometimes listen to and realize is right and is telling you what to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this reading, you read it like a story. There's 7 lines or 6 lines, 7 cards per line, and you read it like a story. One card should connect to another, all the way through a line. When I first start shuffling the cards for someone, if it's done at a distance, or if they're shuffling my card, I ask them to do certain things. One thing that I ask them to do is think about something that happened in the past within the last 6 months, so I can confine it to the 6 months past and in 6 months into the future in the future line. Now the 6 lines are the past, the general atmosphere, the outer influences line, which is where all spirits showed up. And I did a study about that. It was fascinating, that point in time in what I was doing. Then there's the present line, the futures, possibilities for the future, and the future. Now everybody says, is it possible to change your future? Yes. You know what's going on now. What shows up in the cards is what will happen if you remain on the present course. So if you change things, you can change your future.
So it's not the future that will be, it's the future that might be depending on your actions. Almost
That's
like
absolutely correct.
Ebenezer
If you correct your
Scrooge.
little evil ways, you're going to correct
Exactly.
everything else,
Change your
right?
life, you can change your future. So that's hopeful.
That's
So you
right.
don't feel like you're predestined by the cards. You can't actually
That's right.
change what you see there, but it's good perhaps to see because you can realize you're going down the wrong path, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk to you about too was
Sure.
the Synergy Tarot method, which was something that I developed. I took complete records of every reading that I ever did, and it didn't take me long to figure out that every reading that I did was connected somehow to people. And uncovering social dynamics is the focus of the Synergy Tarot reading method. Um, Everyone wants to know what the people in their life are doing, whether it's your career and your bosses and your, am I going to be fired tomorrow? Am I going to succeed? Am I going to get the promotion? What is my partner doing? And that's a tricky question to start to answer with people. You can only see in the cards what someone puts into it. So you need to, be very careful and tread lightly, because they may not be totally consciously aware of what's going on, but you need to tread lightly when you're answering those sorts of questions. Um,
Amazing.
yeah,
So you've
and
developed this own method, the Synergy Tarot method, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and I'd like to talk a little bit more about that if I could.
Sure, I'd love to hear it.
Okay, I'm going to hold up the cards here. These are the people cards. Can
Hmm.
you see them?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we're going to pull two of these out of here. This one and this one. Which ones do I have? I have two kings,
Okay.
two men.
Hmm.
Kings are men. Pages are children. The knights are usually teenagers, but they can also be immature adults. Queens are women. The knights are men. Now, the reversals are important. If one was upside down, say you're reading for a woman, there's two men in her life. One is not doing what they should be doing. This one. One is supporting her. Now, if you look, well, they're both facing forward, so that's not a good indication that they're really paying attention to each other. They don't really know each other. If there's a card in between, that increases the likelihood that they don't know each other, but they have to be in the same line. Let's pick a couple more. Oh, here we go. Now I'm going to show you this. That woman is upside down,
Right.
the queen. She's upside down. A queen is Queen of Cups is very emotional.
Mhm.
The Page of Cups is an emotional person, but she's upside down, so she's doing this kid damage of some sort. If the queen is the questioner, you need to tell her somehow that she's harming that child. Not that it's affecting the child yet, otherwise he could appear like this.
Right.
If she's doing him damage and the damage is done, but she needs to be warned not to do that. So that's the root of the tarot, of the Synergy Tarot method, is figuring out relationships, identifying them in the reading. And that's basically what that is, but it takes a little bit of time. I had a psychic over the other day and she picked it up in a heartbeat, and she's studying this method because she's never seen this method before. And she's a very positive person. She said, well, what do you get from me? And I said, I started speaking about what I could feel from her energy.
Hmm.
And then about 3 or 4 sentences in, I just looked at her and went, you're me. Every value that she has, I have. And that was like looking at myself in a mirror. So it was kind of nice to have that
Yeah.
feeling about a person.
Yeah, get a connection that you feel that you're very similar people. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I've always been able to connect to people like that, and
Hmm.
it helped me in a lot of instances. I worked at a call center, and over the telephone, I was able to connect to people in a very personal way. They were allowed, with one place that I worked within that call center, to call us back, and they finally had to take me out of that queue because they all felt that connection. They all wanted only me. And they used to say in training class, good luck trying to get her customers to work with you, because it doesn't work. So they finally had to take me out of that queue and put me into somewhere where I was supposed to, reconnect with the same people all the time. Connecting with people has never been my problem. So
Well, then it
I
sounds
enjoy
like you're in
it.
the right line of work. You connect with people. You have a natural clairvoyance about you, a natural intuition developed from the time you were a young child because it was a matter of survival. What do you hope readers take away from your book before we leave you today?
I want to basically, I want them to learn how to use and trust their intuition. And if they can see in the cards what they're feeling, then I know that they've done their job properly. And also it can lead to other things like channeling. At one point in my life, I was reading for somebody over a chat program. This was in the 90s. I started a whole new line of things for me. And what they, it's hard to describe this.
What?
A book fell off and hit me in the head. My poem book that I write poetry in, and laid open to a page. And on that page was a poem I wrote. I typed it out and sent it to the person that I was reading for. And it was exactly what she needed to hear. Exactly. She had had a married lover who committed suicide, and she needed to hear what was in that poem. So that started channeling. Now, channeling is uh, I've had such an experience of channeling because I did a study on whether or not the spirits were showing up in the tarot cards, and they did in the outer influences line. And reading started turning into channeling.
Hmm.
So that's when I would invite the spirit in and find out who the spirit was, get a message from them to give to the person, to a message that would tell the person who it was that was there. And it was messages like, one was in Greece and I had no idea. I didn't know whether the readers were male, female. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know their names. I didn't know where they were from. One was in Greece though. And what I saw was olive trees, and in the distance, blue water and a fishing boat. And she said, that's my grandfather. It's as simple as that. It's fascinating, but it was the most satisfying time of my life, connecting people. Every person, I don't know how they got a hold of me, but every person that I read for needed closure in some way. I solved a crime. I put a mother together with her handicapped child who had been handicapped here on Earth. And the last time I saw them, they were running around, playing together, sliding down rainbows. It's such an honor to have that connection. I can
Amazing.
feel the spirits around me as we're talking here.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, you've got a true connection with people, a true connection with the spiritual world. And I know you're trying to hone that in other people, keep their minds open, their hearts open, their spirits open to understand the messages and the signs that are around them. The name of the book, and it's a terrific book, it is the Gypsy Tarot Spread. It is a
Mhm.
comprehensive guide that teaches readers how to use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck to gain detailed insights into their past, present, and future. In the book, you will also learn about Linda's Synergy Tarot method that is just amazing and it is transformative. Linda, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Well, Logan, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure's been all mine. I appreciate your time. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.